Excited to get the week going again, and anytime you suffer a loss in the football field, you're so eager to get back. And going back to Saturday, exactly what we had anticipated. We wanted to get a good gauge of where we're at, where our team is at, our program. We've only been playing football for a month now. Really kind of where we stack up with some of the top teams in the Southland Conference, and we saw that. And we saw, again, the whole point going in there, see how we matched up, see where we stack up, where we can get better, and got exposed on a lot of things there, which is good. It's good for our program. It's exactly what we needed. So again, shows areas we have to improve, shows some details there where they were better than we were on Saturday night, but you saw some signs where we could compete with these guys. We can go toe-to-toe with those guys. So, excited about those possibilities. But the bottom line, we've got to get a lot better as a program. We will. It's a process. We're in that process right now. But the mentality in the locker room from day one is how fast can we speed up that process. So this will be a big week for us. Good. A big week of growth. How we take what we learned from Saturday, and now can we put all that together? How much better can we get from last week? Because it's going to be every week. It's going to be the same caliber teams coming in every single week, and there's going to be parts of their opponent where we may match up, we may not match up. But again, it's about cleaning up those details and seeing how much we can improve this Saturday.
Coach, talk about growth. Obviously, you guys are going to be hosting your first home conference game this week against Houston Christian, another team coming off a loss from last week. Just what do you want to see from your guys, especially this week of practice, leading up to Saturday to ultimately, hopefully, come away with the first win, conference win, especially at home?
Well, just the mentality this week of coming back and being able to look in the mirror and know, okay, here's where we got to get better. Here's where we're not as good as we need to be if we want to compete in this conference. And then you look, it's another good conference team. Don't let the record fool you. This is their first conference game. They've played some really good people in non-conference, and you look at some of those scores, those games could have gone either way, but Houston Christian, Coach Backwell does a great job, and you got to realize all the conference opponents, everybody's fighting for the same thing. Everybody's trying to win conference games, and everybody has UTRGV circled as a winnable game. And so they're looking for a victory. They're coming in here. Everyone does not want to lose, be the first ones to lose to the new kid on the block, but they think, hey, this is a new program. We should have the upper hand. And so everyone's looking at us that way, and we're going to get a great ball game from them. So us understanding where we're at, we know where we're at and where other people think we stand in this conference, and it's on us to prove week in and week out, hey, do we belong? How quickly can we be relevant in this conference?
Coach, and you point to a couple of plays that not necessarily lost the game, but kind of turned the tide, right? So how do you adjust that? How do you tell the team that those plays can happen if you want to come out with the win?
That's football. We talk about that all the time. And in close ball games, you could probably look to about half a dozen plays that could have switched the game, or you don't know. But really, you can't explain that until you get in those situations. We talked about growth this morning. We talked about it's like raising a child. You can't give all your child's all the information at one time. You got to let them develop. You got to let things happen. You got to let them experience things, and then say, here's what you're supposed to do in that situation. Here's how to handle that. Here's how you respond from this. Here's how we move on. Here's how we learn. So really, it's the first time to get in that situation. So now it's evident. Hey, look, here's an example where these plays, right before the half, just coming out of the half, early in the ball game, getting down early, how these things can affect the entire ball game. So we just haven't been in those situations as a program yet. So again, great learning tool. Are we going to take this? We're going to be in those situations again Saturday night, without a doubt. Every week we're going to be in those situations. We have great teams in this conference. So, are we going to have the opportunity to show if we've grown from that in a week?
And you talk about teams circling you on the schedule as a winnable game, right? Do you say that kind of lights a fire under the team, but also the coaching staff as well?
Well, that's kind of where we're at. We've talked about it since day one. That's the reality of it. And it's on us how we want to approach it, how we want to attack it. As this program, they do have a chip on the shoulder. They do want to prove it. We got a bunch of guys that came here for that reason, not just to make history, but kind of to prove something and set a standard around here. So guys are motivated, equally motivated as they were last week. So they came out, had a great day today. But you can see the energy, you can see the fire, and they're anxious to get back and have another opportunity.
As a coaching staff?
Always, yeah. Coaching staff, it's football. We're gonna plan, prepare, practice each week. We don't look at them any different than we do any other opponent that we've played. It's our opponent we have on Saturday night, and our goal is to do our best to put our guys in the position to be successful.
Coach. What sort of challenges does Houston Christian present offensively and defensively?
Start out with their defense. Defense is very stout. Really, you take Nebraska out of the equation, they're giving up 15 points a game. They're very active. Their defense coordinator does a great job. We looked at stuff going back, a couple years from other places he's been. Very multiple. They're active. They're fast. They're physical. The scheme looks complex, but their rules are very simple and allows them to be in position. They know what they're doing. They play fast, but they're going to be a challenge for us offensively. And a lot of people don't put up points on them. Good football teams they've played, it's hard to move the ball. They don't give up big plays. So that's going to be the first piece is, are we going to be able to establish the run game? They're very stingy against the run. And can we get some chunk plays to move the ball and score some points? Defensively, it's going to be, again, execution. They do a good job. They've had 2 weeks to prepare. So you've got to look at that. They've had an extra week to look at us, to study our tendencies, to put in new wrinkles. So really expecting a lot of stuff from them offensively and defensively. I worked with the offensive coordinator back at U of H, Mike Nesbitt. He's a phenomenal offensive mind, does a good job. So he's going to have some stuff dialed up. And they've been close. Even the games they lost, they've been close. They had a catch in overtime. They could have won the game. Goes right to the receiver's hands. They've had some turnovers and things like that, or misfortunate situations. So they could easily be coming here at 3-1 right now. And that's where you look at that stuff. So it's going to be a good football team. And again, they're coming in with a mentality that same as we are. They're trying to be 1-0 at the end of the week. It's their first conference game. So they're right now they're 0-0 and you definitely want to be 0-1 and definitely want to be 1-0 instead of 0-1.
Southeastern, they had one of the best defensive fronts here in the Southland, and Vicente Hughes gets to start at right guard. Just what did you see from him there, getting into that starting lineup and being able to mix it up and hold his own there with that first group?
Did a good job, especially for his first start, and that was just we need a bigger body. That's the way some of these games are going to be, and you got to look at the matchups and how you match up. And of course, Southeastern is one of the best D lines in the league, and there's going to be others. There's going to be some good ones, and this one's a good one this week too. But he, proud of the way he did. He stepped up. His first real action, that fast. So a lot of things were moving fast for us early in the first quarter on all three phases. First time to play at that level, but you can see once we kind of caught up to the speed, guys were moving around. I thought we matched the physicalness pretty good there. So those are some positive signs moving forward. Now we just got to be ready to come out and play at that speed from the get-go.
And you guys still had over 400 yards of offense. Just what were some of the things that you liked that the offense was able to do there against that Southeastern as well?
Once we just settled down and caught up to the speed of the quickness up front, and we were able to just start putting some first downs together, I think, and that was it hadn't happened to them yet. Again, being in that situation goes back to being in situations for the first time. We've been able to come out and just put points on the board. So it's kind of a humbling moment for some of the guys and realize, hey, it's going to be patient. We talked about that during the week, and so really once we just got over that and just started focusing on doing our job, executing, getting first downs, then you saw us moving the football a little bit and being able to put some points on the board.
Coach, as far as health-wise, are you in good shape?
Always, yeah. Everyone is. Every team gets banged up. That's part of college football. We're going to have guys out. They're going to have guys out. So, but yeah, we're as healthy as we can be right now.
Okay.
All right, and now with this game now in the rearview mirror, and now you're looking ahead to your next matchup. What sort of adjustments are you looking to see the team make week to week?
For us, it's always about us. It's about us. How can we come back, learn from the things we did wrong, the things we were out of position, the communication errors we had, the technique errors we had, some assignment errors, things like that. When you get in those big ball games and bullets are flying, can we learn from that, and how much better can we be this week from last week? But it's always going to be about us, never about our opponent. And how can we maximize our potential this week in practice and be as good as we can be Saturday?
Coach, what do you anticipate just from the first home conference game for you guys?
As far as overall?
Just overall, I guess, yeah. Getting that loss on the road out of the way, you guys get a chance to regroup here at home. Just what do you anticipate? How you guys to respond, especially at home with the valley behind you guys too?
I think it's another situation like we've been in. That's the big curious point this week as a head coach. We hadn't been in this situation, and today was a big point of that. How we can come back, how we going to practice, how we going to learn. We had some good heart-to-heart meetings Sunday and really looked in the mirror on some things, myself included. There were some bad play calls there that we could have done some different things. So I've got to being in those situations. information as well, and look how I can improve, how we can improve as a staff. So it's everybody in the program, and again, so really definitely looking forward to a great environment. I think guys feel comfortable at home, excited. The fans are going to be there. We got a bye next week, so there's no reason to hold anything back, and really have the opportunity to still go in at halftime of the season. We can still be 2-1 here in this second quarter. We can still win the second quarter. We can still be 1-0 for the week, and still get out of that, get in that win column for in conference. So that's the big goal, the big focus, as it would be every week. So excited to get back to Vacker and see see what it looks like.
Coach, apart from everything in regards to games, X's and O's, in regards to ground school, because I'm working on starting how they use a machine over there to keep everything in line over there. Just how grateful are you for the ground school people, and pretty much implementing new technology to make sure that everything's on point just the way that you like it over there in the practice field?
Have you seen the practice field? It looks like a fairway in Augusta. Our staff does a phenomenal job, and they've done a great job. We noticed that when we first got here with baseball. All the facilities, soccer field, they do a phenomenal job with the grass, but taking care of the facilities, this is our daily life. Our guys have top-notch, first-class stuff to practice on, to work in every day, and that goes back to the commitment to excellence of our administration and UTRGV to not only just start a program, and really this goes to all athletics, not just to have an athletic program or start a program, but to build something special and make it a first-class facility, first-class programs that can have some relevance in the nation.